What is going on, everybody? It is time for your TLC review or ICWP Reviews TLC. I really don't know how I want to say it. Like, I like it like that, and that's how I've been saying it. But then sometimes you just get in a flow of saying the blah, blah, blah review. Anyway, I was trying to pour water at the same time. I should say it wasn't working. But I didn't spill none on the floor. So, here we go. That's the key. But anyway, we're talking TLC 2017. I thought it was a pretty good show. I still feel like I don't know what it is. I don't know if pay-per-views just feel like glorified Raws to me or something. But like I find myself like I have to force myself to not do anything else but watch the show. Like I know we talk about this a lot, but it's like it seems to be a reoccurring thing, and I don't know why. Um, like I always feel like, especially with pay-per-views, unless I'm just like really like into watching it, I find myself freaking like having to force myself to get off my phone, or I'll be on my phone or be on my computer, and then I'll get like halfway through a match and be like, okay, I'm done now. I'm gonna watch this match. For some reason, I have that issue. Do you still have that issue, or were you just kind of dialed in tonight?
Uh,
See, and I guess my issue is I can't be on my phone and also watch the match and actually pay attention.
I think it's a WWE thing because I can't. I feel like I can't just focus on just the show whenever, like no matter if it's a pay-per-view. I think the closest I get with WWE is like Takeover. That's one where I can takeovers are where I can kind of, for the most part focus on the show all the way through. But as far as Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, I have that issue too where I keep wanting to go, look on my phone at like Instagram or Twitter or whatever. It's tough. But I thought this show was pretty good though. I didn't. Obviously, there were the matches that we knew were going to be throwaways, but there were some really good matches on this show. And the one thing I do like about TLC, and we complain about this all the time especially with pay-per-views nowadays, they don't like do anything with the stage. I like at least with TLC, they decorate, with the chairs and everything and the tables and the ladders.
Yeah, and then somebody just pulls it down on somebody else. Anyway,
we never seen that before. I don't think.
Yeah, and I ain't even mad. But real quick, I don't want to talk about every individual segment because we rarely ever talk about segments in pay-per-view reviews. But I know Casey and I were kind of talking about how there was so much filler. So I kind of wanted to hit on that before we even got to the pre-show match that I didn't get a chance to watch. I just I don't know. Like I thought it was weird that they had, what was it? They had two Jason Jordan and Elias Sampson or Elias segments that were basically the same. Like I get what they were doing with it, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel. Like the first one was funny. I thought the second one was kind of funny. It was okay. I don't know. Like it's just kind of weird what they were doing with it. I do like Elias though. I like Elias for whatever reason, but I just felt like there was a nice little bit of backstage segments, but I didn't think it was necessarily too much. But I don't know. Maybe I was on my phone during backstage segments and I didn't really pay attention. Casey, thoughts on the filler aspect of the show?
I didn't like it at all. And I've said this before on pay-per-views. I don't like backstage segments on pay-per-views, and I don't like filler on pay-per-views. I think you should have enough matches or long enough matches to fill an entire pay-per-view. I don't like backstage segments and things like that because you should build up your feuds on Raw and SmackDown. You shouldn't have to then still do more on the actual pay-per-view. I don't have a problem necessarily with like a promo before a match or something, but when it's just filler, I don't like that.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, let's move into the first match, which I don't know if you watched it or not because you started watching the show late. So, Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Apparently, Sasha Banks won via submission. Um,
I'm so
well,
surprised.
what?
I'm so surprised.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to watch this because I was kind of switching rooms at the time, and I didn't realize. By the way, fun fact, they still sell WWE pay-per-views on actual pay-per-view. So I guess that's why they kind of still call them pay-per-views. Um, I actually noticed that when I was trying to find the pre-show on my Dish Network, and it's actually a completely different pre-show. So that's kind of weird. So that's why I missed this match because I turned it on, and as the match was going on, I missed it because I was on like the wrong pre-show. Because it was like they have like a secondary pre-show with like Charlie Caruso hosting it, and she kind of goes through the matches, and they got like the main one with Renee Young and the panel and all of that. So it's kind of weird. I thought it was kind of weird, but I don't know. I didn't get to watch this match. Let's jump into the first actual match on the actual card, which was Asuka versus Emma. I thought this was a good match. I liked it. I think Emma is one of those female wrestlers that's just underrated. I think just the way she's booked, a lot of times we kind of forget how good she is. But I thought she looked good in this match. Obviously, Asuka looked good in this match. I think it was a good debut for Asuka. Um, I'm kind of still trying to figure out, I guess, what this is supposed to mean for Emma, because like you want to have two sides to the story, right? Right? You want to have, obviously it's Asuka's debut, so that's why it's big for her. But why is this big for Emma? Like, just because she can prove that she's better than Asuka? If so, they didn't really say that at all at any point, when building this whole thing. So I don't know. I guess that was my issue. But I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Good way to start the show. Surprised they started the show with Asuka, just because I felt like that was kind of one of the selling points of this. But then I feel like after they were kind of forced to add in AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, that they became the new selling points for the pay per view. So Casey, thoughts on Asuka versus Emma? Were you surprised it was the first match, by the way?
Um, yeah, I didn't like that it was the first match. I mean, to be honest, I really wasn't looking forward to this match anyway. But I think they still, even with the addition of AJ Styles versus Finn Balor and Kurt Angle to the main event, I still think they should have waited on this match a little bit later in the show. Just because it is, it's her big debut, eh, I don't know. And I like Emma. I would either have liked to have seen Emma built up more for this match, or Asuka versus somebody that would seem more of a competitive match. I mean, this was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. Honestly, I expected just a complete jobber match where Asuka destroys Emma, and we didn't get that. Emma actually looks pretty good in this match, but still, to me, she wasn't built up enough to really get me excited about the match against Asuka. Um, but yeah, like I said, for what it was a good match. Um, I'm just glad they didn't, Dan Matha her.
You know, I mean, damn it, he making his return though. Anyway, we move on to the what do they call this? They call this the cruiserweight showcase or cruiserweight spotlight thing. They called it something. I didn't realize Nigel McGuinness was on 205 Live. That shows you how much I watched the show. Anyway, we had Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick. I'm definitely liking Jack Gallagher's new heel gimmick. Um, I definitely think it's interesting. I like him kind of not necessarily giving in to Brian Kendrick, but like I guess kind of learning from Brian Kendrick, and now this is kind of the source behind this. I also like how it was kind of gradual. Like you know, we were seeing him kind of go through this whole thing where he was starting to be more Smash Mouth, more serious, and then it kind of that turned into his heel turn. So I definitely like that. I thought this was a good showcase of the cruiserweights. It doesn't really mean anything, unfortunately. I don't think. Um, but I really don't know. Like, I guess that's my issue is I really don't know if these guys are in a feud or not. I feel like everybody pretty much needs video packages and at pay-per-views. I think that may be just a personal thing for me. But like even these matches like this where there's probably a feud that's involved, but let's just say you haven't watched 205 Live like I haven't. well, you're not gonna know about that feud if you've been skipping over the filler cruiserweight stuff on Raw, then you might not know about this feud per se. So I kind of I guess that's where my disconnect was. But I thought it was a good match. I think obviously I love Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander. I think they're a really good team. Once again, like we said, I would love to see either one of these teams or both of these teams be in the actual tag team division, because I think that would, like we said, would give the tag team division something different, but also give the cruiserweights within within the cruiserweights as tag teams, give them a chance to do something else besides go for the title, because that's about all they care about when it comes down to the cruiserweight division. But Casey, any thoughts on the cruiserweight spotlight? I'm going with it. That's what they called it.
It was a tag team match. That's all it was.
Could have swore he said something about cruiserweight something.
They say all those words all the time, so it doesn't really matter. They just say words. They say whatever Vince tells them to say, and most of the time it doesn't make sense. But I liked it. I like Jack's new music actually. Kind of like DJ. I haven't been able to really go back and catch up on 205 Live, the actual show. I've seen these feuds built up on Raw here and there, so I have a little bit of an idea. But I hadn't heard his new music that he has, so I definitely like that. Great match. Obviously, Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann were the classic high flying baby faces in this match. Definitely a good match. I was still kind of confused as to why Alexander and Swann won, just because to me personally, I feel like you can, and I said this on the predictions, I feel like you could do more with the heel Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick winning than you really can with Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander. I love Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander, but as a tag team, they kind of come off as generic to me. I don't know what it is, but I don't know where they go with this from here. But definitely a good match, though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I liked it. It was nice to see another cruiserweight match. I'm like I said, not sure if this was a rivalry or not, but it was nice to see another cruiserweight match on the card, because I feel like sometimes you don't always get that. Then we had Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James, which I was surprised by the result of this, but I'm going to give this to Casey first, since he got his so-called goddess.
Before we get into this match, they was a promo. They was, and I think, or an interview, I should say. I think we can all completely agree with Alexa on one thing. We all love her butt. She loved her butt. We love her butt. It's that little kid in the front row loved her butt. Hashtag never forget. So we had the Raw Women's Championship match. We had Mickie James versus the Queen, the Goddess, the amazing Alexa Bliss, and still your Raw Women's Champion. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That's all the notes I wrote. But that's all you gotta say. That's it. That's all of it. DJ.
Yeah, I thought this match was it wasn't too bad. It was just one of those that was like really predictable, just because you don't really you don't really expect Mickie James to win this match. But also in the back of my mind, I'm expecting them to take the title off of Alexa, but you never really know that when that's gonna happen. So I don't know. But I definitely thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I've liked Alexa as champion. I think she's done a good job. I think it is time for somebody new. But I don't have a clue who that's going to be. Probably Asuka. But a little bit of me is scared that they'll rush Asuka to the title. But I don't know if Asuka can be rushed to the title. Does that make sense? She can, because there's never any continuity between NXT and the main roster. Like if they actually made it worth the fact that they were in NXT on the main roster, then maybe. But like if that was the case, then like Sasha and Bailey would be like running the division. But anyway, let's move on to the Cruiserweight Championship match: Enzo Amore versus Kalisto, who went back to his original music tonight. I think the guy hit the wrong button. They ain't gonna trick me. They ain't gonna trick me. He hit the wrong button. They just trying to cover it up. I still like it, the Lucha Dragon, and I say his music, but it's the Lucha Dragon music technically. Shout out to Sin Cara. But I didn't think this match was too bad. Enzo lost his voice, which was funny. I don't know about you, but the first thing I thought of when he started talking and he couldn't talk was friggin' that viral infection that's going around.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, he's got it. He's got it. They couldn't take everybody out of the show. He's got it. But I like this match. I like Kalisto. I think Kalisto's good. I think like I said before, I'm glad Kalisto's in the Cruiserweight division, but I think he should have been in the Cruiserweight division a long time ago. I felt like he got lost. And even went to Raw in the shakeup, and they still was like, you know what? Nah, we ain't gonna put him in the Cruiserweight division. So like, I'm glad he's in the Cruiserweight division. He got a title run for like a couple days. But I don't know. This match was okay. It wasn't too bad. Like I said, I am a fan of Kalisto. I just don't understand why WWE is insistent on basically taking the title from someone after them not even holding it for a week. Am I wrong about that? Like did he hold it longer than I thought? Has it been a week already? Didn't he win? No, he won it the week before last.
Yeah. So it's been
But still, you get what I'm saying though, right? Like why did they give him the title just to have him lose the title? Like I understand the unpredictability aspect of it, but I guess my issue is after a while it's not even unpredictable anymore. Like after a while you see Kalisto win on Raw and you just know that Enzo's gonna win it back on the pay-per-view. Like don't get me wrong, I wasn't like 100% sure, but in the back of your mind, which is kind of I guess what they want, but then again, it's weird. Like I don't really know how to feel about this. Maybe it's just me not liking these really short title reigns. Like I don't mind Enzo getting it back, but at least let until the next pay per view and then Enzo get it back. Like I guess that's my issue with them potatoing the title as they are, is they're not letting people's title reigns even mean anything. Like yeah, it's great that Sasha Banks is a four-time women's champion, but like combined, I mean, how long she had the title? A month and a half. Over four times, like, and that's kind of what my issue is with this. Is like, it just feels like Kalisto's run didn't mean anything. Kalisto beating Enzo didn't mean anything now at this point. But anyway, Enzo Amore is now your new Cruiserweight champion. Casey, thoughts on Enzo Amore versus Kalisto?
I straight up I skipped this match because, I mean, I saw the outcome. I saw Enzo retain, but it goes back to another complaint that we've had for a while now, especially with the Cruiserweight division. You know, if WWE doesn't care, and we can tell they don't care, why should we care? Clearly, they don't care about the Cruiserweights. They don't care about the title, with how many times they have flip-flopped the title back and forth, and then, they showed a new black title, and they haven't even had that on TV. Like they just don't care about this title. They don't know what they're doing with it. They're just passing it back and forth. I won't be surprised if Enzo loses it to another random returning cruiserweight. Like they just, I don't know. Like I want to like the cruiserweight division still. I want to still like 205 Live, but they're not. First of all, like I said, when Kalisto returned to and debuted on 205 Live, I like Kalisto. I like the existing cruiserweights that were in WWE before, you know, the Cruiserweight Classic. But I want to see these new guys that WWE signed from the Cruiserweight Classic get shots at the title. Like, we haven't even seen, like, you can count at least probably like 10 Cruiserweight, you know, superstars in 205 Live that haven't even gotten a shot at the title. And it doesn't make sense. I think they need to, you know, have that, pass that title around more to more people to see. You know, we didn't know that, you know, Neville would have such a good title run. We didn't know a lot of these guys would be good champions until you give them a chance with the title. And most of these guys are not giving him a chance with the title. They're just, oh, let's give it to Kalisto. Let's give it back to Enzo. It just doesn't make sense. And the fact that, you know, out of nowhere, Enzo has a faction after the week before everyone hated him. Bruh. Continuity. I don't know. I don't.
Alrighty, well, let's move on to a bright spot in the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jason Jordan versus a lot now. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. I would say it was match of the night, but then there was a match at the end that was, I think I did it. Just saying. But this was a really good match. I think this was the match that everybody was looking forward to. I think this is the match that like people have been looking forward to for a long time, and we just haven't gotten it yet. It was kind of cool. Like I was kind of curious to see how they were going to say, you know, how they were going to make sense of this. You know, I'm glad that they mentioned the viral infection, and that's why things are changing. But they also kind of, you know, made it like Kurt Angle, you know, called AJ Styles, or called, I guess, Shane McMahon up, or Daniel Bryan up, and kind of wanted this one time only match, this for one night only type thing. I mean, they'll have him on Raw tomorrow. Let's be honest. We know how WWE is with one time only. But anyway, I just thought, like, I like the kind of sensical aspect behind it, you know. But really good match. I enjoyed it, back and forth. It was one of those matches where I really didn't. I felt like Finn Balor was gonna win, but also, you know, AJ Styles is one of those guys where you really don't know. He might come in, you know, the enemy territory and win, and no one will be mad. So it's kind of one of those situations. They tried to push the whole brand supremacy type thing, like, for a second when they mentioned Survivor Series, but I think they already let that go down the tubes when they're promoting, you know, the other show's pay-per-view on their show. Like, I get you want people to watch it, but that, I don't think that's how you do it. But definitely a good match. I enjoyed it. I would be honestly surprised if they didn't have these two in the Survivor Series match in November. Like, I just think these two just know how to work with each other. I know WWE tried their best to cover up the fact that they quote haven't faced each other before, haven't ever seen each other, don't know each other, whatever. But they do. And I think they did a good job in this match. Finn Balor did end up winning, but I think, you know, you can't make AJ Styles look weak at this point, I don't think. Um, I just feel like he's kind of invincible. But I love, you know, the back and forth aspect of this match, the anybody could win aspect of this match. And I think that's what you always want from a dream match style of match, where you want it to be back and forth. You want it to be anybody could win. I kind of wish they would stop talking about the Demon Finn Balor, just because I feel like they kind of give away that he's going to wear it. I think that should be a surprise for the fans. Like, that should be his connection with the fans, not commentary's connection to spoil. Um, I think that's one thing that they need to stop doing is stop saying, oh, it's going to be AJ Styles versus the Demon. Just say it's going to be AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. I wonder if the Demon's going to come out tonight. You know, the Demon wasn't there last week. You know, you can hint around it, or you can say it without saying it. And I feel like they're just coming out and saying it, and it's spoiling that moment for the fans, in my opinion. Because I think that was kind of the cool thing about him in NXT is you always expected it at Takeover, but obviously there's times when he's not going to come out with the pain. So it's just one of those things. But anyway, Casey, thoughts on AJ Styles versus Finn Balor?
Yeah, this was definitely the match I was looking forward to the most since the news came out the other day. I do like the cover up, because a lot of times WWE, something will come up and they don't know what to do and they just throw some crap together and and hope it works. But I like that, they got AJ and they in the storyline they called and made the deal with SmackDown. I like that. That's smart. That's good writing. Especially when something comes up so abrupt. I definitely like that. I I would have rather just personally. I would rather have just seen Finn Balor versus AJ, not necessarily not necessarily AJ versus the Demon, just because that hasn't been built up, and it would have been just as good of a match, just AJ versus Finn. I do, and this is hard to say because anytime it's so hard for me to say anything good about Michael Cole, but I like how Cole said that at one point they both led the same faction, talking about the Bullet Club.
Can you say that again?
What?
Can you say I like when Cole said again, please?
I like when it was said by a person working for WWE that at one point they both led the same faction. I won't say it again. I won't do it. Also,
can we also real quick before you move on? I just had a thought on speaking of Michael Cole. Can we quit like crying about Michael Cole calling Finn Balor's version of the Pele kick an overhead kick now? Because they're obviously different kicks.
He needs to get it right.
Have you seen them? They're different kicks.
No, they're not.
No. Stop it. They're different kicks. Let's be honest. I think AJ Styles' kick is kind of more of a. I don't know.
They're the same thing. Same thing.
They're not.
Slight variation, but same thing.
Slight, bruh.
But this match was awesome, especially when you do factor in that this was their first ever match together. Even in the Indies,
really?
yeah, they've never faced before. So this was their first match, as far as I know. I looked everywhere and I can't find any other matches that they've had. But I definitely, for me, this was still match of the night for me. The other one was a close second, but I definitely liked it. And I don't think they'll do it, but what would have been awesome is if they did kind of had a rematch at Survivor Series. They definitely, I feel like they could stretch it out to Survivor Series, and they wouldn't necessarily even have to have Finn on SmackDown or AJ on Raw. They could do have Finn or AJ in the middle of a match and have something come up on the Titantron, or some sort just distractions, mind games sent from AJ or from Finn, kind of like that, and build it up to Survivor Series. I would definitely love to see a rematch at Survivor Series. I don't think that they'll do it, but that would definitely be cool. I like that Finn won the match too, but the only thing with the rematch idea is I would have had AJ win this match to make Finn and Raw itself want the rematch even more, because then you would have that kind of brand supremacy. You would have SmackDown basically getting a win over Raw on Raw's own pay-per-view. I think that would have been a really good booking and really, build up to a rematch between the two at Survivor Series.
And even if they didn't do a rematch, even just the Survivor Series match, because there's really no build up to that right now because they kind of killed the vibe of it being SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah. But the Too Sweet after the match was awesome. I'm pretty sure.
How about that one sweet though? What about that?
No, the Too Sweet was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure though that they had a cease and desist in their locker room when they went back to the back.
They got fired for that.
But yeah, definitely a good match. I liked it. Still my match of the night personally.
Speaking of your match of the night, Jason Jordan versus Elias, right? Like you was kidding, right? This is real. I don't know. This match was okay. I just didn't. I don't know. I just don't like this feud. Like I don't know what it is about it. Just don't like it. Jason Jordan just not resonating with me right now. I mean, I've liked this feud. Like, I can't lie that I haven't liked this feud, or at least some parts of this feud, like when Elias and the club were in the ring, doing the remix to Jason Jordan's theme song, and they was like, "He's a nerd." That was hilarious. That was real funny. And just, bro, like, why? Like, Giles and Anderson are hilarious, but why ain't they in the ring though? I'm just saying because, like, bro, like they just I don't understand why they not in the tag team title pick. I'm just gonna move on here. But this match was not too bad. I have, like I said, I have like this build up per se at spots. It was okay. Don't know if I wanted to continue or not. But anyway. Hasty thoughts on Jason Jordan, who is a nerd, versus Elias Simpson.
This match followed AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, so right out of the gate it was set to fail. Like this, I didn't care about this match before AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Then when you have this follow that match, like I don't care. Like this is supposed to be the general manager's son, and bruh, I don't. He's throwing produce at another man. Like this is what's happening in this storyline. Next match.
All right, next match, which is the main event of the evening.
Where I think we saw attempted murder. I think we did multiple times. Attempted murder.
Was it when Jason Jordan threw fruit at Elias Sampson when he's obviously allergic to?
No, when Kane tried to kill Braun Strowman multiple times.
True. Oh, I thought you meant Jason Jordan throwing the produce at Elias, and Elias obviously he allergic to tomatoes, so
he could have got
but anyway,
the wrong way. No, just.
But we got Kurt Angle and the Shield, formerly known as the honorary honorary fourth member of the Shield, obviously, going up against Braun Strowman, Cesaro, Kane, The Miz, and Sheamus. I still don't understand why this was a 5-on-3 handicap match. I really don't. I don't. And I kind of like them kind of trying to make sense of this too. Like, Kurt Angle being the guy that he is can't allow this, them to go 5-3, 5-2. He'll do 5-3. I like them presenting the vest to him. I thought that was cool. That was really cool. Kind of sucked that we didn't get to see him in the singlet. I think when you expected Kurt Angle to finally return, to the ring, you expect the whole thing, the singlet, the "you suck" chants, the fireworks, all of that stuff. But this match was awesome. I thought it was freaking great. I really I like Kurt Angle just trying to fit in with the Shield and doing everything that the Shield would do. I feel like the booking of this match was kind of didn't change. I feel like there was a lot of moments that I could have put Roman Roman in this match, and it didn't really like. I feel like they didn't have to really adjust it too much for Kurt Angle to be in this match. But when Braun and Kane kind of turned on each other, because I think Kane hit him with a chair by accident, if I'm not mistaken. That just kind of set it off from there. Freaking, I love Braun when Kane threw him off the stage, and Braun's just kind of reaching up. He's just like, "I'm gonna make it," and Kane pulls the freaking chairs from the top of the ceiling down on him. That was a really cool moment. I hope Braun Strowman covered up because that hurt. That probably hurt a nice little bit. Um, Obviously we had we had a barricade spot because it ain't no big handicap match without a barricade spot and an announce table spot. But I really enjoyed this. For some reason, I don't know why, but I was expecting them to have to grab something. For some reason I thought it was weird they had to pin. I don't know what they would have grabbed. But for some reason I was expecting them to grab something. I don't know why, but I was. From like the top of the place or whatever, the top of the stadium. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Hanging from the top of the ring. That ain't necessarily what I mean either. Shut up. But I thought this match was good. I liked it. I love Braun Strowman and Kane going at it. That was fun. I like the stuff with the garbage truck and Braun being like sucked up. I mean, you want to talk about attempted murder? Let's be honest. Braun being sucked up into the garbage truck, or scooped up, I guess you could say. Bro, what's gonna happen to Braun? I'm surprised Braun didn't just like punch through the garbage truck and just crawl out. Like we know how Braun is. Like, come on now. like he fine. Like he probably just chilling in there. Let's be honest. But I love there at the end. Well, Kurt Angle went out of the match for a bit after being taken out through that table, and his selling was great on that. And then he comes back and basically friggin' just wrestling machine Kurt Angle and it hits an angle slam through a table on Cesaro. That was kind of a sick bump too. Some of these tables just weren't budging in this match at all. They just weren't doing it. And I love at the end where the Miz does his typical sneak in skull crushing finale and it looks like it's gonna be over. And Kurt Angle kicks out at like 2 3/4 because he's the greatest of like all time at kicking out at 2 3/4. This was just a really good match though. I really enjoyed it. The Shield and Kurt Angle won the match with a triple power bomb. Even Angle putting in locking in the ankle lock was awesome too. Like I thought that was great. But Casey, thoughts on Kurt Angle and the Shield versus the Bar Ms. Bar to Raj Strowman.
The what?
Ms. Bar to Raj Strowman.
No.
No?
But I know what you was talking about. They gotta grab that brass ring. That's what that is. That's what they gotta grab. The brass ring. Yeah. No? Alright. But I said this to DJ on Snapchat while I was watching this match. I think that Kurt Angle should be the official 4th member of the Shield. # book it. # people power. I also said that to Amy and she disagreed. And I'm questioning our relationship now because it was amazing and Kurt Angle needs to be the 4th member of the Shield. Just do it. Do it. But yeah, I love this match. I thought it was weird that Kane came out before Braun Strowman, especially with him being Kane being the special 5th member, and with it being 20 years since his debut. This year is his 20th anniversary or whatever in WWE as Kane. He came out before Braun, but whatever. Kurt coming out with the Shield and being an honorary member with the Shield gear, I thought was awesome. I actually liked him in the Shield gear, over the lit. I thought it looked good, and I feel like it also maybe could have, kind of protected him a little bit with the padding that we kind of joke around about with Roman, about how he gets injured with the ribs when he's wearing a bulletproof vest, bruh. But I think that definitely could have possibly helped him with possible injuries, because that was one thing that a lot of people were definitely worried about with his age. Being in a TLC match, he could get injured a lot easier than the other guys. But I definitely marked out really hard with Kurt coming in the ring in the beginning of the match with the chair, just smacking the crap out of everybody. Like, he just came in there, like, hitting everybody. I think he hit his own teammates. I'm pretty sure. He hit the ref. He hit everybody. But definitely a good match. I don't know if you caught this, but I love Booker talking about how Kurt has had an 11-year hiatus from the ring, not just from WWE, but from the ring. And I'm like, weren't y'all in TNA together in the same faction? It happened, bruh. But definitely, Kurt is definitely one of the the best, I think, sellers with injury. Because for a minute there, I wasn't really sure if he was actually injured, like if he was actually not going to come back, because he's so good at selling that. But then you realize he's probably going to come back. And we obviously knew that Kane and Strowman would break down. Bruh, Strowman just made Kane look like a bitch with that shove down. Like, he just shoved him down so easy, and I'm like, Kane can't come back from that. Like, bruh, you just, bruh, can't do it. And then Kane tried to murder him multiple times. Like, I don't know how they do that chair spot with the chairs falling down. Like, how you do that?
Without dying, like
how you do that though? Like, you can't have that many chairs fall on top of you. You can't do that. Like, you be dead. Yeah, how they do that though? Like, I need to know. I need to know how they do that. But yeah, definitely a really good match. I liked it.
Alrighty. Well, that was your ICWP Reviews TLC 2017. TL Sizzle, yeah. TL Sizzle, or Tizzle Lizzle Sizzle, or Tizzle LC.
Or not.
I think it worked. I think at least two people like that. But anyway.
It didn't.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. I know we got the podcast episode 10 season finale coming up tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. I don't know how we're gonna do it per se, but I guess we'll figure that out. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for us. I mean, if you made it this far and you ain't hit the subscribe button, like, something wrong. Like you got the issues. Unless you already hit it, don't go hit it again. Like, you good, bruh. Also follow us on Twitter at ICW_podcast. You can talk to us there. Also, Facebook page is in the description. Should be facebook.com/ICW podcast, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So you can try that. If it comes over somebody else's podcast, like that, then $5 and like ours too. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I got 2 for 1. 2 for 1. Everybody like 2 for $1. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was ICWP Reviews, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs.